Okay, this is how you guys do it. So we've logged into myhub21.ca. We're going to go to C21Present. Okay. Now I'm going to actually pick a property that's currently on the market. What is happening over here?
Pay attention, students.
Okay. Then we're going to go to create new. No? Okay. And then we're going to do property review. So again, there's a couple options. So if you're going on a seller presentation, like a real listing presentation, you're going to click seller, because this one you can actually select. Oh, I guess that would help, eh? Why isn't that recording? Okay, so sorry. Okay, sorry, let's start that again. Okay, so we're going to log into myhub21.ca. We're going to click on C21Present. We're going to click on create new. So you got a couple options. You've got the seller, which is if you're going to go on a live listing presentation, this one will actually give you the option to have the listing presentation for you, like an actual PowerPoint plus the CMA. The other one that we were kind of talking about today is the property review. So this is just if you want to send a quick update to a past client, a friend asked you what their house might be worth, and you just want to send like a property review. It won't say seller, it won't say buyer on it. It will just strictly say a property review. There's also one here that's for buyers. So maybe your client wants to put an offer on a property. They said, hey, can you send me the comparables for this property? Then you're going to do the buyer presentation. So today we're just going to do the property review. And then we're going to click continue. You'll see here there's no template, which I wouldn't pick because it's just blank. It will automatically pick default. So we're going to click that. And then we're going to do, this one is where you're going to put the title. So whatever you put here, it's actually going to show up on the cover page. So you could say prepared for Caitlin Fulton. So whatever your client's name is, or you could put the address of the property. You should have Toronto MLS as your listing source. If you don't have anything, please let us know, because that means it's not hooked up to the IDX, which gets you access to the properties. So then you're going to click create. And it will take some time. Just wait for like the little circle thing to kind of do its thing. Okay, so I'm actually going to pick one that's on MLS so that you guys can see what it looks like to have a subject property. If it's been listed on MLS in the last, I think 2 years, this will pop up. If it's past 2 years, the MLS data will not pop up of the subject property. So otherwise, you can actually skip this part entirely and not actually have one. Or you can do like what Ginny was doing and like manually type in like what the address is and all of the details. So today I'm actually just going to do the MLS number of one that's on the market. If I can find it. E596849. And then you would just put it in there. And so I'm just going to click copy. E5916849. So you can see what was a little bit different is that it actually pulled up the photo of the listing property. And so that will actually be the title of your page. And again, you can actually upload. So if they haven't listed it, you can manually upload a photo of the subject property if they don't have it. Otherwise, MLS will pull it directly. Then you're going to go to the next step, which is the search. And this is where you're going to pick your property. So some people like to do it a little different. Some people like to go to actual like Stratus and copy and paste MLS numbers of the comparable properties. Otherwise, you can just use this. It will pop up the recent sales. Sometimes it won't pop up at one by accident, something like that. So I would do like a cross-reference to make sure you are actually getting all the comparables. But otherwise, it will pull up a pretty small area and it will give you everything. So what we're going to do, like kind of what Ginny was doing, is let's say the subject property is here and we just want to keep it in like a very small little range. So you can draw as well and like actually select which properties. We're going to do a quick draw. And let's just say I want to do this area, and all you do is click and draw. That's taking too long, so we're going to do this. Run search. And so whatever came up in that little circle is what I'm going to pick. You don't want all of Ajax. You don't want all of Pickering. You want to also, like what we were saying, when you're looking at comparables, you want to make sure it's in the same area. This one's a bungalow, so I'm only going to select bungalows. And you're going to see here. So I'm just going to click the plus sign. This looks like a bungalow. This looks like a bungalow. This does. I'm not going to click this 14 Duffin because it obviously is a 2-car garage, 2-bedroom. That's not a comparable. This one is a bungalow. So you see what I mean? Like you'll obviously go more into detail when you guys are doing your comparables and like looking at what exactly goes with it. So once you've picked like your 3 to 5, that's when you're now going to go to the next step, which is listings. So we're just on search. Now we're on listings. And you can see here it has the properties that I selected. And there's a whole bunch of different stuff. So we were talking about like adjustments. You can make your adjustments on it. You can actually add remarks. There's a bunch of little buttons you can do. I typically just leave it alone and just like move along. So I don't get too into detail with it, especially if you're just doing the 30-day challenge and you're just sending out quick ones. The only time you're really going to go into detail is if you're actually going on a listing presentation. Right now, we're just quick. We're just picking 5 properties that just sold. If you're in a listing presentation, it's going to be way more in depth, and you're going to be coming up with a real evaluation if you're putting on the market. If you're sending them a quick one, and then they're like, well, actually, I do want to know what it's worth. You're like, okay, that price that I sent you it's just a guesstimate, but let me come in person, take a look at the finishes. Maybe you did some upgrades like Ginny was saying. So it's hard to give someone a value because I'm sure we have buyers that have bought and they put in a whole new kitchen. So whatever we thought their house looked like, it might look like a whole different house. That's why it's kind of like hard to give one unless you're going for like that presentation. Then you go to that estimate, which is where you guys can pick the range. What's nice about this, which will make your math a lot quicker, is on the side here, it actually will give you a range based on those ones you sold or you chose. So this one will say like on the low end, it could be 764. On the high end, it could be 850. So you could give them a giant range. Sometimes I'll do a 200K range if they really want to know, because then I'm like saving myself. I'm like, yeah, it could be like between 5 to 700. They're like, well, what is it? You're like, I don't know. I should come see your house. So like Ginny was saying, don't give them too small of like an exact amount. You want to give them big enough that it intrigues them to maybe want you to come into the house. Here you can actually create the range. So if you didn't like that exact, you can give them say 600 to 800,000. And then you can decide if you want that on the presentation or not. It's up to you. And then here's the pages. So I think Carly was even saying, she will, like, her and I are both the same. There's going to be some pages that are like actually blank. I don't know why, but you want to have the listings map, which will just show you the map of where all the comparables are. They can actually click on these when you send it to them, and they can click on it. So if you're sending it through text, email, whatever, it makes it a little bit more interactive for them, and they can click here. They can see exactly where you pulled the comparables from. Listing overview. This is like just again, a different way to view the properties that you chose. A lot of people like the side-by-side comparison because you can say, okay, you have 3 bedrooms, they had 4. You had 3 or 2 bathrooms, they had 3. So automatically that comparable might be worth a little bit more because it's got different ones, but it gives you a nice view. So it depends on how your brain works. I think the analytical brains will like this one. If you're a creative brain, you might like the pictures of the houses more. Status comparison. I think that one's okay. The one that never gives up anything, I don't know why, is the price and size. You can see it says no data. So I would just delete that page. Pricing analysis. Again, this is totally up to you, but this is what it would look like if you are giving them a range. It will show up on one of the pages. And then you've got your agent profile. So once you're happy with all of that, then you go right back like we did before.
That lets you add a page to.
Oh yeah, good point. So you can actually add a page too. So if you want to customize it, maybe you want to add in some information about your team, maybe you just want to add in like about yourself, anything like that, you can add in like some more custom stuff in there too. Good idea. I've never done that before. Yeah, why not? Maybe 3 tips to selling your home or something. Or it could be like, maybe you want to do, because we said to send it with like a market update. Maybe you're doing like a little blurb on the market update. The next session I teach you guys about in a couple weeks is going to be on AI, and I'll probably blow your minds a little bit with making ChatGPT take advantage of it. So we'll talk a lot about how ChatGPT can also be used in this.
Next week, Jen.
2 weeks. We're going to do March break next week.
Oh, no.
Yeah. We all need a break, right?
I was trying to bring my.
Oh yeah, we'll take a break. So you guys can choose how you want to present this. Yeah, you're gonna be doing CMAs for the next 2 weeks. So we've got the web form, which you guys can present, which is just like a link. So you guys can, like we were saying, Jenny was saying, you can text it, you can email it. So you can just copy this link, shoot it over as a text message, be like, hey, just looked at your house. DMs, that's like in Instagram and all that. So if you don't have that, you can pop that over.
Send it on your WhatsApp.
WhatsApp, whatever you want. The other way, if you're sending it as like a PDF, then you can email that over too. So however your brain works, that's what it looks like. This is what you would bring to a listing presentation. So again, you have a CMA on Treb Stratus. It says CMA. The reason why we want you guys to use this is because let's say you're going to compete against an agent from Remax or I don't know, Royal LePage. You guys all have access to the exact same CMA. So if you guys all pop in with your little presentations, you have the exact same presentation of data. So all we're doing is differentiating it and making it look pretty. You all have the same houses. This one just has a nice presentation. It makes you look a little bit more like modern. So this is what it would look like on your listing presentation. You can have this on your computer if you want to do your listing presentation virtually. You can print this and bring it to a listing presentation. But this is going to be part of like your pretty much your daily business. If you're going to pick any tools to use from Hub 21, this would be one of the ones I would use for sure. And this is just, again, what it would look like. So the people that get it can actually click on this. And then your clients can actually see the photo. So when they're like, oh, my house is way better than that, then you can pop up the photos and be like, oh, yours isn't as updated as this one. And like, then they're going to see the photos and be like, oh yeah, like you're right. So like it's going to help you guys when it comes to even negotiating with your own clients sometimes. And then they can get off it. So they can click this on their phone very easily as well. And then you've got that list. So that's pretty easy there. Perfect. So I'm going to sign off. If you guys have questions, let us know. I'm going to stop recording.